Welcome to Curious Conversations with Tully and Sarah.
We sit down and chat with business owners, entrepreneurs, and some of the best conversation starters.
This is a podcast about real life lessons and people doing cool shit.
I don't care about the presents.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Tully Louise.
Happy New Year, but Merry Christmas. It is our last episode of 2024.
I know, and we've been doing this for a hot minute.
I know. Seriously, I looked on our podcast Apple feed because I was trying to find a link to the latest episode with your nan, which is such a beautiful episode. And I was like, whoa, we're nearly up to 200 episodes.
I know.
It's crazy. A little idea and then here we are, and we also have a production company as well. So who knew that would have come out of 2020?
I was just about to say 2024 has been a big year, like big changes for us.
Massive changes, like huge. And
I've had a few mental breakdowns. You've had a few mental breakdowns.
I mean, what's a year without mental breakdowns? They're all just different. They're all very different. But
in saying that, I am really proud of us.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's so funny, like when you actually reflect. I was actually doing a blog post for our other business, Tully Lou, which I'll put it live this week or next week, about setting 2025 goals. And one of the main points, and we talk about this all the time, is reflecting on your current year. And I sat back and I reflected. I'm like, whoa, this year has been massive. And like so many achievements, always lows, but not lows that were horrible, I don't think.
I mean, you became a mum.
Yeah, crazy.
We started a new business.
Crazy.
Which has kind of become like my little baby.
Yeah, literally. It's just been like insane. So, and then also our existing business, Tully Lou, I feel like has been, big growth. I would say a lot bigger growth than last year.
Yes.
Just in regards to understanding and just products, like we've
expanded the range.
Yeah, and we did have a little bit of a low in the product point of view, but that's something we don't really need to talk about. But that was frustrating from we can talk about. We just had a issue with production with one of our styles that is our best selling style, and you can imagine if you don't have your best selling style in your bakery, it's frustrating money-wise, financially. So that was a good, probably I would say 6 months. That was frustrating, but we've finally nailed that process and that situation. So
that's one of my points for this episode, actually.
Oh, really?
Well, it's I would say it's not a mistake if you learn from it. Mistakes are for learning.
Yeah, and what do we have? We have it's a win or learn. So instead of failing, it's a learn, and that's something that we have spoken about on the podcast before. Is like instead of saying fail or a negative word like that, it's always a learn. But we probably should introduce this week's episode.
How do we finish every year?
Yeah, well, we always finish every year with David the Medium's word of the year, and we have been so busy that we completely forgot to get him on. And then we always finish our last episode with what we learned that year.
Yes.
So this year, it's obviously 2024, so we're doing 24 things that
we learned in 2024.
Yeah. So
do you want to kick off?
I love these episodes. So naturally, if you have heard us do one of these episodes, Sarah and I will take in turns. Sarah's got 12 things, I've got 12 things, and we just talk about what we learned and just reflect, and if you have to add anything else onto that, you can. So for me, 12 things I learned in 2024, I'm going to start off. Of course, I became a mum, so roller is honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me and Damien, and I think that was a massive lesson for me that like your life can change, but it changes for the best. So
life is always changing.
Yeah, and I just think I didn't realize how much having a child would impact. There's another point down here that I will talk about, but just impact your life, and she's the best thing that ever happened. So I learned that.
It's been your dream to become a mum.
Yeah, I've always been like, and I think we kind of spoke about this last week. I thought for a period of my life, people were like, oh, you got to have kids before here, you're not going to be fertile, There was a point in my life in my 30s where I thought that was never going to happen. until obviously I met Damien, and then I kind of knew he was the person. But yeah, I mean, there was a point in my life where I didn't think I was going to be a mum, which is ridiculous because like I was fucking 30. Like so silly. Your life can literally change so quickly.
God, I could be pregnant by February.
Exactly. I know. So that's what I mean. It's like
good luck. Then you're running 3 businesses for a year.
Fuck, Alicia. No, but it's yeah, your life can change, and I do want to go back to that. Not last week's episode, the week before, is basically like you can meet someone tomorrow, and then your life literally changes the next 6 months. Things move quick.
And I said that when I was overseas. I think I FaceTimed you, and I've said it to people coming back. There was a moment in time where I was getting on a boat. I didn't know what I was going to do that day. I was like, I'm going to get on a boat and go somewhere. I was like, how lucky am I? This is the ultimate freedom. I was like, I could meet someone tomorrow, and then I have to consider someone else.
Yeah, it's like, wild. That's so true.
Wild. So I really appreciated that. Even when I'm back home, you always have to consider someone else. You have to consider like how are your grandparents, how are your parents, always checking in. But when you're overseas, I was like
freedom.
Oh, pure freedom.
Not for me anymore, but yes, for you. So that was my number one.
My number one is do hard things and do hard things first. When I first met Solomon, he was like, have a cold shower in the morning, do hard things. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Started doing that for a little bit. But then it even came into the work aspect. I was procrastinating hard things. And I learned that when you do hard things first, the rest of your day is easy. And so the science behind it, and I wrote some notes on it, is when you do hard things, the limiting thoughts come to the front of your mind. The background thoughts come to the front where you can hear them. They're all the thoughts that devalue you. So by being at the front of mind, you can work on them.
That's so true. That's so funny you say that because I was actually watching a story the other day. I don't know if you saw it. It was Michelle Battersby, and she was talking about she's obviously had a baby and just like her work. And I don't know if it was James Clear. I don't know who it was. It was someone like that. It was in a Borg. And I don't know what the actual rule is, but it is write a list of what you have to do.
Yeah.
Write a list of what you have to do and make sure the hardest thing, like the one you're dreading the most, is at the top, and make sure you tick off that because then your list will be so much easier because you're not fucking waiting around all day.
I used to dread doing accounts, you know that, and I always used to procrastinate it. And once I started doing that the first thing in the morning,
when you're like
thing
active.
I was dreading the most, one, it built my confidence to do hard things because I think, not that it's hard, some things are hard, but I'm like, built my confidence to do everything else during the day. But by doing it repeatedly, I also get better at it.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point because
like I said, do hard things first. That's
especially in work. Yeah. Like because you do procrastinate I do on the stupidest little things.
100%. But even like having a cold shower, you'll be like, I don't want to do it. It's so cold. I want to stop. And they're all the thoughts that also come up when you
go in your day-to-day things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and the background noise. So if they come to the front of mind, you can work on them.
So true. This kind of goes off my first one is having a baby teaches you real love. The love is beyond anything you've ever known. I thought I loved my nieces so, like I do obviously love my nieces so much. And I was like, fuck, I've never felt that love before. You get it. You've got nieces and stuff and you just would do anything for them. I felt like that with my nieces. And then when I had a baby, I was like, oh my God, I've never like loved something so much in my whole life.
So unconditional.
Yeah, it's crazy. And obviously like, I mean like I love my family and I like love Damien to death, but it's like a different love. You're like, whoa, it's crazy. So I learned that is possible.
My next one is clear communication always wins and uncomfortable conversations are always worth having. So this is in regards to anything and everything. I found this year that most disagreements, most frustrations all stem from communication not being clear with someone. Even say if I give you something to do and you're like, it's on my to-do list, I might get frustrated because I thought you would do it straight away.
Mm-hmm.
So in reality, I should say to you, hey, can we have a deadline by this where it has to be done? That kind of clear communication.
Yeah.
Even if you've got I told you unleashed just before. I had a conversation with a guy yesterday and it was clear communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, communication is definitely key. I think I don't know if I did right.
So if you're pissed off at someone, reverse engineer it back to you and be like, where could I have been clearer in my communication?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Number 3 from me is, and I always think this every year, but this year it's been completely a lot more clearer to me. Setting boundaries is crucial for an anxious, stress-free life. Setting boundaries, same thing. It goes to communication. Like, you have to set boundaries and communicate with people because they're not thinking the way you're thinking, and the way I think of something, Sarah, it might be completely the opposite. So you can't presume, and setting boundaries is, I think, key to a stress-free life.
I'm going to sprinkle a little bit something else on that.
Yeah.
Do it without guilt.
Yes, exactly.
Because sometimes I set boundaries and I still feel really guilty about doing it.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to do it without guilt.
Yeah, and I think also you just have to be not prepared, but, and I think Solomon said this to me, usually most of the time people will be disappointed at the start, but then they'll get over it. Like, if you communicate the boundary with them.
My next one?
Yeah.
It's okay to take time off.
Yes. Oh my God, I was going to write that down. I was like, oh, that's more of a Sarah thing for me.
So for years and years and years, I feel like I've just gun-ho, hustled, grind my life. And like I said to you when I was away, I feel like I found myself again when I went away. And you look back and you're like, fuck, I could have been doing this every year. Because when you get older, the memories you have are your experiences.
Yeah. And literally, even if you go away for like 2 weeks, no one's going – the same shit will be there when you get back.
No, but I felt like the businesses would crumble.
Oh my God,
I still worked while I was over there. So it's not like I had a holiday.
It's hard when you run a business. Like, if you're on holidays, the only time I feel like I never check emails is at Christmas time when we take 2 weeks off. But I still generally might just jump on because, unfortunately, for the rag trade, China are quite busy in that time and then they're closing up. So I do check emails, but I feel like Christmas time is the one time that I probably actually feel relaxed and take time off. But yeah, when you run a business, unfortunately, when you go on holidays, you can't actually, I don't know if you ever switch off.
Don't know. I'll learn to, maybe.
The only time I feel like was when we went to Eden and we actually didn't have phone reception. So that's another
true.
Thing. Maybe we need to do Eden every year.
Yeah, that's
4
true.
days, not the long one.
That's true.
Your one next.
I just did take time off. And do it without guilt again. One of my biggest lessons this year is do everything without feeling guilty.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone has an opinion and that is okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I've noticed as being a mum. I've noticed as being a mum, there are a lot of opinions of how you should do things, what you should do. Like, I got a comment the other day from some mum, and my daughter was looking at the phone because I had the phone. I was taking a video of her and she was looking at the phone. She's a natural. And I got a comment from someone saying, I can see she's so connected to the phone already. And I usually do not snap. I didn't snap back, but I usually ignore messages like that and don't even acknowledge them. I just open it and leave it. But I actually wrote back and I was like, that's hard when you're running 3 businesses, a majority on your phone. Like, you have to remember, I'm on socials. I'm a content creator. We have Tully Lou. Like, I post all the socials. We have Stitch Up. Like, I'm always on my phone. So I'm like, unfortunately, that's how I make my living. So I didn't say fuck off. I really wanted to, but I didn't.
You sent me a screenshot and I was like,
I was triggered.
You were. I was like, oh, she's triggered you.
Yeah, I was triggered and like,
we've learnt something about triggering this year.
What?
For someone to trigger you, there has to be a slight belief.
Well, of course, I've thought
what they said is a little bit true.
Well, of course, I've thought about it because we have implemented a rule in our house when we're with Roller, we don't use our phones because we are on them all the time. And like I said an example. We were having lunch and Frank from Lucia, we were talking to him and we were talking about kids and on iPads because I was like, oh, my niece is always on iPads at dinner, but it just makes the dinner stress-free. I've got no judgment on that. Like, you've got to do what you got to do each whatever. And he was like, yeah, but unfortunately we use our phones for everything. If you ask me what the time is, I'm going to look at my phone. I don't have a watch. You ask me what the weather is, I'm going to look at my phone. So unfortunately, it's society. We do grab our phone. So of course I have thought about, maybe she is a bit connected to the phone, but unfortunately it's society. And I do, and I didn't want to explain this to her because I'm like, fucking
don't have to explain
no,
yourself to
but
anyone.
we have actually put rules into place that when we are with Rolla and we're like playing with her, we don't grab the phone.
For people listening or watching, what I mean by that and where they can, if they feel triggered, I can sit here and be like, Tully, you are pasty as pasty. And you'll be like, no, I'm not, because you don't believe it. Or I could say you've got blue hair and you're like, you're not triggered. But if I say like something I know that triggers you, a little bit of you believes it. That's why people get triggered.
Of course.
Just shows you where you still got to like build up your confidence.
Yeah, anyway, everyone has a bloody opinion. And
my next one, talk to strangers. And I say that because when I was traveling, I spoke to so many people and had so many interesting conversations, whether it's the person next to the plane or sitting at a bar. And they were so interesting, had such interesting stories. And I reflected, I was like, fuck, in Melbourne when I'm back home, I talk to the same people and I was like, you know what, just a simple conversation with someone, you don't even know what it does to their day.
True.
We always say if you have a conversation with someone, that you might be the only person they talk to all day and you've made their day.
Absolutely. You don't know what someone's going through, so you might make their day, but that is, or you might meet someone and then get a bloody job. You don't know.
Who knows?
Or a boyfriend. Who knows? This one's like just a light and funny one. Cappuccinos aren't just for grandmas. I'm obsessed with cappuccinos at the moment. I don't know why. I'm usually like a latte girl, but I love a cappuccino with like a sprinkle of the chocolate. Just delicious. That was my little thing I learned this year.
Very true. Your thoughts create your reality. Whatever you are repeating to yourself is the life you live, and only you have the power to change your thoughts.
True.
Your world is in your mind and you have to live in it.
So true. That's so true. And we all know that words are power when it comes to manifesting and living a positive life. For me, the importance of support, whether it's from your family, partner, or friends, you quickly realize how essential it is to have a support system. So don't be afraid to ask. I hate asking people for things, especially when it comes to looking after Rolla or like stuff like that. So I think it's really important to lean on people for support when they offer it. They actually generally mean it. I used to have this thing that I'm like, oh, they say they will, but they won't. But generally, most of the time they will. If they offer, they're willing to support.
My next one is pick up the phone. Phone your parents, have dinner with them, pick up the phone your friend. Because I want to ask you, how many times did you have dinner with your parents this year?
Fuck, I don't know. It's hard. My parents live in the country.
Say you've had dinner with your parents 5 times this year.
I have a lot of lunches with my parents.
Okay. Hypothetically, you had 5 dinners with them this year. Our parents are getting older. Say they've got 10 years to live. That's 50 dinners you're going to have with them for the rest of your life. Or if it's you only speak to your parents 3 times a year, might be like, it's only 30 times you're going to speak to them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, God. That's
when you reverse engineer it and think about it like that, I'm like, whoa. And the guy who's married to the Spanx lady taught me that because he said, well, we're in our 30s. Say we've got 50 years to live. We've only got 50 summers left.
Oh, my God.
Unless we go to Europe every year as well, and then it's 100 summers.
Me, that's depressing.
No, but that's how I think it just gives the fragility of life and to
live in the moment.
Exactly.
So true.
Pick up the phone your parents, phone your grandparents.
True.
Tell people you love them. That's why you got to tell people you love them.
True. This is for me. Your body has been through a lot. Give it time and rest. I obviously had a C-section with Roller, and I've never really had rest in my life. Like, I've always been very active, work out most days. And when I had Roller, I think I had like 3 months. I think it was like 8 or 9 weeks, so 2.5 months, but off doing nothing. And I fucking loved it. It was best.
And for someone who used to go at it every day.
Yeah, and now I'm like, I feel like I needed that time to really listen to my body. Like, I don't work out as much as what I used to because I can't, like, some mornings Damien has to leave at 5 and like, so it's just like I've really probably slowed down a lot and let my body rest. And also after a C-section, you literally can't even get out of bed like properly. Also, the recovery in C-section is not that bad. I was a bit nervous, but it's actually not that bad.
Mate, you had a Pico machine or whatever as well. So you got a little bit of help for the recovery. Consistency is key to most things. Great things come working on something.
Fuck off. I had something like that too.
Go. What's yours then? That's a mutual one. Consistency is key.
I said small consistent actions lead to big results. I've come to realize that small consistent actions, they have a significant impact over a time, whether it's building a habit or working towards a personal goal.
Okay.
It's pretty powerful. Small efforts.
Well, do you want me to go again?
Yeah.
You get more giving than receiving, and the universe is funny. The more you give, the more you receive.
So true. I've always been a massive believer of that.
This is what I think about, right? Even if you pay it forward and buy a coffee at the coffee shop, or someone asks for money and you give them money, or someone needs something, you walk away with so much more life and fulfillment in your heart.
True. Do you know one thing though with this? Don't be fucking posting over social media like, oh, I just gave the homeless guy $100. Like, that defeats the fucking purpose. That really pisses me off.
Jim Carrey has a very famous quote, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you're a homeless person and someone comes around with a hot meal for you and shoves a camera in your face.
No, I hate that.
Do it, but do it without having to share.
Do it in silence.
Exactly.
Like, it's much more rewarding if you do it in silence, and the good things will come to you. I hate when you see those people.
Do it out of the purest of your heart, not about
clout.
Exactly.
Like, it actually defeats the whole purpose, and when people do that, it really grinds my gears. I'm like, you're just doing that shit for clout.
But next year when we do a food kitchen, we probably have to put it on social, so don't judge us on that.
No, but food kitchens are different because you're promoting a business that's creating a huge impact to so many families, individuals and stuff like that. If you didn't see that on social media, I wouldn't even know that some of these food banks existed.
That's true. And to be fair, how I knew about these food banks was via other people posting about it.
Same, exactly right. This one is you don't have to have it all together. So it's okay not to be perfect. This is me coming from me as a mum, but being a mum can be really messy, like physically and emotionally and mentally. And sometimes just making it through the day is all you need. You don't have to meet every expectation. You just need to do your best, which is more than enough.
It's a good one.
And I think that's good for any in life.
It's kind of like what I've got here. 80% is good enough. We're not striving for perfection.
That's been a hard one for Sarah.
That's our new motto at this business.
Yeah.
And it's the thing that Leash says to me every day that she's going to beat out of me is my perfectionism.
Sometimes just getting it done.
Well, it goes back to consistency, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just put it out there.
And your perfect is different. Your perfect isn't the same as everyone else's perfect.
100%,
like,
no.
Someone out there could be a perfectionist and it's different to your perfectionist.
Exactly.
So
someone might see my perfectionism and be like, that's messy. That's caca.
Exactly. So you have to remember that like everyone is so different. This one is in regards to working and just life. Time blocking has saved my productivity and life. I'm a massive time blocker. And I think I spoke about it when we had David on the podcast last year. What was his word for last year? This year. Some word, and I was change or something.
Nah.
Accountability.
And
I remember in that episode saying, I'm going to be a mom, like obviously run businesses. I'm going to have to be a real big time blocker. And that literally has changed my life. And I would highly recommend time blocking if you have like a little bit of like ADHD.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one's it's been on the backdrop of my phone all year, and I don't know whether you would have noticed it.
Mm-hmm. You had a mood board.
Yeah, but 3 big letters in it.
Oh, I have seen it, but I can't remember what it is.
Have more fun.
Oh, that's right. Have more fun.
That was my motto for this year because, to be fair, I was taking life probably way too seriously and wasn't having enough fun.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought you had to, I don't know, we ran businesses. You had to be serious. You couldn't have fun. And so I found by having more fun, it's funny, again, the better things happen for us.
Things come to you.
Yeah, and
businesses.
Again, we all end up in the same place. We're never going to dodge death. Have more fun.
True. That is true. Having a supportive partner is the key to relationships and sharing the load. So, like, it's the key to a relationship is supportive partner and sharing the load, especially if you've got kids.
And you have to have clear communication with that, right?
Yeah. We're pretty good with communication. Just Damien dumps things on me at the last minute, which really pisses me off, and I've told him about it.
Mistakes are for learning.
Yep. Exactly what we spoke about before. It's like a win or learn. This is my last one. This is number 12. Working with your friends is the best. I feel like this year not that I've not noticed it, but having a baby is really fucking hard, and knowing that you're working with friends that understand that it's a little bit different is so nice. And it's also fun because you guys love roller. It's like, it's fun to work with your friends. Imagine working a fucking office 9 to 5, like where everyone was like at their computer, like fucking, it'd be shit. It'd be so boring and you'd hate going to work. So that was my last one.
That's a good one. That's a little bit nice for you.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's Tully's slight little way of saying, like, I really love you and I really appreciate you.
There was another one that I wanted to add because it's something I'm trying to work on is take compliments.
Yeah.
I can't take compliments. Why? I don't know why. I don't know. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. I do know why deep down because I've spoken about it to Solomon, but I need to be able to take compliments.
My last one. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh, so true.
And that's
fucking shit. I hate.
One thing I always default back to is a comparison of success. And
it's so hard when you're on social media and stuff and seeing people do things. It's very hard.
I compare myself to my dad's success. I'm like, oh, I don't have that. And dad's so successful. And then on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, but that's only in the business aspect. What about in family, friends? I'm so successful at that. I'm really successful at my health. So it's like a wheel. So you might be more successful at something than me, whereas I was so gung-ho on focusing on just the business success. And I was like, fuck. Oh, I'm so successful in other areas of my life where other people aren't as successful. And not that it's a game or anything, but it allowed me to expand my view on what success is.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, comparing is the
thief of joy.
Yeah, it really is.
And you spoke of James Clear before.
Yes.
And
going back, I don't know if it was James Clear, but that just came to me.
Well, I wrote down a note because 2020, some people might listen to this in early stages of 2025 and reflecting on what they want their next year to be. And whatever you want your next year to be, James Clear has a really good quote, and I'll read it out. New goals don't deliver new results. New lifestyles do. And a lifestyle is a process, not an outcome. For this reason, all of your energy should go into building better habits, not chasing better results.
So true. And it goes down to the small, consistent actions.
100%. If you want to lose weight, you have to
get up a little bit earlier.
It's a different lifestyle. You have to create a different lifestyle.
So true. It's like me at the moment. Like I have to get up at 4:30 to go to a 5 o'clock bloody class, but it's small. Like you do it 3 times a week and then it's just a habit. You just do it.
So that's my 12 things with a little sprinkle of James Clear. But on a personal level, the other day I was on a walk and I was thinking of us. I was like, I'm going to write Tully a little message, and I haven't.
Fuck.
But fuck, like if you look back 10 years at our life and you're like, girls, you would have done.
Oh, I never do. I need to do this more, reflecting of like 10 years, not the last year.
But if you look at our lives, we've traveled so much together. We've built an international business. We're a part of a technology startup where the people came to us. We've started this new business, and I'm really proud of the people we've grown into.
Yeah, I think so. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. I cry all the time, so this is no. But
I'm trying to hold back tears. No, like.
Oh my God, stop. I can't look at you. I can't.
I think we've done some really fucking cool things.
We have. We actually have. We've done some really cool things. And I think as much as we talk about not stepping into uncomfortable situations, I think every single thing we have done, we've taken a risk and stepped in an uncomfortable situation. And it's I'm trying not to look at you. That's why I'm like kind of looking at the picture frames behind your head. Yeah, I'm like so proud.
You're supposed to be the crier in this relationship.
I know. Maybe I've got no more tears. No, I'm like so proud. It's pretty crazy to think that like, yeah, some of the things we've done, some of the people we've met,
but I'm proud of our friendship as well. Like,
yeah, I mean, not many people could work together this much.
No, and not even. And our friendship is pretty special, but they say if you have a friendship longer than 7 years, that it's going to last a lifetime.
So true. So true.
Yep.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, I'm definitely like, who would have known at fucking Fitzroy Yoga Studio? That's where we met, guys. That I probably had
bendy yoga teacher that used to give me resting bitch face. That fast forward to 10 years that we would be here.
It's so true. It's so crazy. Yeah, who would have thought? That's what I mean. Like, talk to the people. You just never know where your relationship will go to, who you'll meet, what you'll do.
I'm pretty sure I would have spoken to you first.
Yeah, I definitely would have spoken to you. No, I just say that because I used to just go to yoga. I wanted to do my own thing. I was like, you know, when you just go to classes, you're like, but no, Fitzroy Bikram will always have like a special like part of my, like, don't you think? Like, it's just like that nostalgic, like
the people, like smell. The people flash into my head, like.
But it'll never be the same. But yeah, it's crazy. So just a reminder to make sure you don't have resting bitch face and talk to every single person that you run into, because you just never know where your life will go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
but here's the 2025. I'm like excited. Do you have any? We do have to wrap up because we have to set up a set for the next show. But
if you haven't watched our Two Hot Lesbian show, Can't Think Straight, it's great. And speaking from two straight girls, it is so entertaining.
Yeah, Phoebe and Tessa have got a great personality. They're like great engagement, and the conversations they've got really great stories, and every time I listen, I laugh. Like, they've got an episode, I think it's coming out next week, and some of the stories in that is very funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
2025, we're kicking it off. We'll be away together, going on our annual family vacay.
With Roller this year, which I'm so excited for.
And our other Russian family.
Yeah. It'll be really fun.
And Mark and Ash are going to be up there at the same time.
Oh, yeah, fun.
They're staying at a resort.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We'll go to Movie World, do all the things, and then January.
Oh my God, we can take the other kids, that means.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
And then January rolls around, and one of our best friends, Morgan, is coming over Australian Open, so we always love January. We'll be at the tennis and then working from here.
Well, here's to 2025.
I'm excited for 2025.
Me too. I'll probably come back with more tears. Who is this woman?
Yeah, Sarah never used to cry.
Never. This is what 2 years of therapy does to you.
Oh, yeah, true. It's like she would never. I'm like, just fucking cry.
Yeah.
Like, just cry.
Yeah, you're the cold-hearted bitch.
No, I still cry. Like, I had tears. I mean, I had tears in the episode we filmed with your nan last week. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Bless her.
Anyway.
We love you.
We love you guys.
Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for messaging us.
Thank you for being patient for our little hiatus.
Our maternity leave.
Yeah, maternity leave hiatus. That was it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And
we're just two best friends on a couch having conversations
that hopefully change your lives.
And just trying to sort it. Like, we're all going through the same things.
Absolutely. We hope you have a beautiful Christmas and New Year, and we'll see you guys in 2025.
Ciao.
Bye.